Christian, how you doing?
Hello, Matthew.
It's really nice to see you. How's Edinburgh?
Yeah, it's beautiful. At the moment, it's unbelievably gorgeous. It's like somewhere else, really. It's like beautiful sunshine and a bit too warm, really. It's a bit
Yeah.
sort of scary, but it's beautiful.
Do you go out much or do you just stay in?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going out every day. I'm just what I'm loving is just discovering all sorts of new, really beautiful paths and places. I kind of like pick a direction every day. So one day I might go north, and I just have discovered lots of paths that I just love going on.
Okay, so it's kind of newfound freedom almost.
Well, yeah, I just like being here has been kind of nice because usually when I'm here, like in normal life, I'm usually just here like maybe for a week at the most, and
Yeah.
then I kind of have to cook some food and then time to go again. I usually don't even bother unpacking the suitcase. So
Yeah, yeah,
once it gets unpacked, it's kind of
yeah. Have you noticed
nice.
how dirty your flat gets, by the way? Because have you noticed how dirty your flat gets because you're living in it all the time?
Yes, yes, it's ridiculous. It's like I have to clean this now, like every week. Like, come on, I used to get away with every like month or something.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's like, oh God, not again. I've only just cleaned it, and now it needs
I
cleaning.
know it's exactly the same thing. Yeah,
Yeah, and so you're Canadian, obviously, which
yeah,
maybe the viewers didn't know about. Also, something that the people watching don't know about is that you were homeschooled.
yeah. And very by a very weird coincidence, because it's not like this is a normal thing in Canada. But Emily, the other Canadian in the orchestra, was also homeschooled. She lived in Calgary, and I lived in Ottawa.
Oh,
It's so weird because it's really like I didn't know anyone else who was being homeschooled while we were doing it.
right.
Um, for me, it was between the ages of 9 and 12. And then I tried out normal high school for a bit, but then I ended up going back to finishing high school at home. So when I was 15 to 18, I resumed the kind of homeschooling, lifestyle.
Right. Okay. Okay. And what was that like as a teenager growing up and
It was in almost every way, it was really amazing, because I don't know if you know this either, but when I started going to normal high school, it was an arts high school. It was a really cool place called Canterbury High School, and you had to like because I was entering the music program, so I had to learn an orchestral instrument because I played piano and a bit of guitar before that, but I never played an orchestral instrument.
right?
So I learned the cello to get into that program. I was 13, and
Oh,
that was I mean that's how my cello playing started really.
wow. And but that's quite unusual to learn a stringed instrument so late, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really stressful for me for a long time, like until I was 18 or so. I wasn't sure if I was going to be ever be good enough because I really liked it. I really liked playing cello.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so you can relate to all these people who are having to suddenly homeschool their children now then.
It completely, like, now going back to this life feels sort of totally natural for me. I'm just very used to kind of doing my own thing, occupying myself and figuring out how I'm going to structure my time and stuff. It's just
Yeah.
kind of second nature to me now. So I feel really lucky in that sense. I'm not at a huge loss. I'm like, oh, tell me what to do. I don't know what's happening. So yeah, I've enjoyed that aspect of just doing my own projects and having the time to do it. And
Yeah.
in that way, it's been really positive.
Yeah. You're spending all this time at home. So what are you doing to
Well, I mean, mainly, I guess I've been doing a few other things, but the bulk of my time, I guess, have been arranging stuff for cello, for multiple cello parts, and recording them.
yeah,
I did the Goldberg variations.
seen Goldberg variations?
Yeah, I did that, and that was the very first thing. It wasn't something I was planning to do at all. I'd just been thinking about the pieces a lot recently, and when this happened, I was slightly freaked out. I thought, oh, when am I ever going to play again? And these pieces were kind of like an almost spiritual refuge for me. So I thought, I have to do this. So I did it. It was good because it gave me focus for like 30 days or something.
And did you do one a day, or I mean, was it possible to do?
Pretty much. I mean, well, sometimes I tried to get ahead because as I looked ahead, I was like, oh, there's a really, really hard one coming up. I'd better like get ready for that a bit earlier. So yeah, sometimes I would manage to do a few in a day, and maybe some of them would take more than a day. So
Yeah, yeah. And have you got any things coming up, any arrangements coming up that haven't been released yet?
Yeah, I've been doing a bit more film music, which has been pretty fun, like some John Williams stuff, a few Jerry Goldsmith things as well.
Okay.
And I've been doing a lot of foray actually, which I really love. Foray nocturnes for solo piano. I've done two of those already. I was just working on another one.
Right. Okay. Brilliant. And do you arrange them? Do you arrange them like from the cello, or you do it on paper and then?
It's kind of a mixture. So depending on what the score is, I might be able to just kind of reduce it, visually. Like some of the foray, I was just looking at it. Oh, yeah, I'll try this, and that works quite well.
Yeah.
And some of them, if they're more intricate, I do have to actually sit down and write down.
Yeah. 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 I mean, the Goldberg variations, particularly, I've watched all of them, and they're just. If anybody's watching and they haven't seen them, you should. How can they find them? Where do they find them?
They're on my YouTube channel. Actually, that's
Okay.
probably the best place to find them.
Yeah, and is that just Christian Elliott YouTube or what?
Yeah, the name of the channel is Chelio9, which is like my university username. I don't know why.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe you can.
Right. Because I mean, for people who haven't seen them, they're a real thing.
No, thank you.
They're
Well, I enjoy doing them a lot.
absolutely amazing. That's really good. Okay, brilliant. So the next thing I wanted to ask you, Christian, you're in a quartet with Thomas Zetmeyer, I hear tell. What's that quartet called?
It's called the St. Mark Quartet.
And so, what was it like the first time that he came to conduct the ICO? Um, that relationship of kind of being an equal and being a part of a quartet, being part of his quartet, and then suddenly he's the conductor of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was a little bit nervous just about so many aspects of it. Like, I hoped the orchestra would like him. I hoped he would like the orchestra. I hoped it would be, but it was amazing. It was just like it worked so wonderfully. He had such a clear sort of immediate enjoyment of working with the orchestra. The orchestra was clearly just loving what he was doing.
Yeah, yeah,
That just immediately made it wonderful. I've enjoyed every time he's come in a lot because his music making. Well, I guess because I've worked with him so much, I sort of understand a lot of the things that he does, and it's a real joy.
yeah. And is he different as a conductor to as a violinist when he's leading the quartet?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's definitely the same person, but yeah, it's the same kind of sort of inclusive energy. So in that sense, it's very similar, and his music making is always so sort of always so direct.
Yes. Yeah, my experience of it was that it was very immediate. And that's the word that comes to my mind. It's very, you say direct, but for me it was very sort of, here we are, we're going to really, it's kind of a really good, sort of contrast or quite similar in a way with Jörg Widmann as well, isn't it? It's the same sort of, you're right in it as an experience.
Yeah, there's a sort of sense of like things coming to him as well. I feel like there's a bit of a zen quality to when he's there, which is a bit different in the quartet. But
Yeah. And one last question: are you managing to keep your supplies of whiskey going whilst you're in lockdown?
yeah, I always make sure that there's at least one bottle around. I haven't been getting through them that quickly, I must say. It's been about a month and a half or so.
Not bad.
It's not bad, but I enjoy it very much.
Yeah, I one of my memories of when you first started being in the orchestra was that actually I think you were on trial, weren't you? And
Probably, yeah.
we sat up very late and drank quite a lot of whiskey.
I remember that. That was a wonderful week. That's the week you did backs, I think. Wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, and it was actually a really funny experience because you were on trial, and that process of being on trial, and you sort of become, especially in the ICO, you become sort of part of the family.
Yeah, it's true.
And you were sort of becoming part of the family, and it was like, oh no, he's got to get the job now because otherwise, what we're gonna do, So I remember it very sort of.
Hoping it was going to work out, and it did. So I was
Exactly. Yeah, perfect. Well, Christian, it's so nice to see you. I get such pleasure from doing these interviews because I get to see people and have a little catch up with everyone. So take good care, and hopefully everyone can look you up on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Perfect. Thank you ever so much, Christian.
Bye.